Hello, this is Ash from The Faction. Thanks for jumping on and having a chat with us. How's it going?
Certainly. It's going fine. Ash, how are you?
I'm great. It's a good Tuesday morning.
Yes. Thank you for fitting me into your schedule.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. Well, I wanted to congratulate you on the new single, Defender, from the upcoming album. Can you tell us a little about it?
Yeah, sure. Defender is actually the very first song that I wrote for Guardians, and I wrote it probably back in like October of 2018. So a long time ago now. And I didn't send it to the rest of the band for a long time because it was the song that was a lot more straightforward than anything I had ever written before for August Burns Red. And I was like, are the guys going to like this? Like, is this too straight up? Like, there's not a lot of, there's a lot of repeating parts. It's more structured. It's not as shreddy as, we usually go. And so I sat on it for months and then sent it over to the band probably in like February the following year. And when we recorded it, it turned out to be one of our favorite songs. We thought it hit really hard. It was super heavy. And I guess that's how it often goes when you write a song. It was sort of an unassuming track that took off once we got in the studio and recorded it. As far as, do you want to hear like lyrically? Do you want like information on that side of the song?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Song was written by our drummer Matt, and he unfortunately went through a divorce a year or two ago, and the song speaks to to him going through that process and basically his dad having his back through the whole ordeal. And Matt would say that he realizes basically that everyone needs someone standing in their corner, and we can each be that person to the people in our lives that are most important to us. Basically, we can all be, defenders for each other when we need them, sort of the meaning of that song.
Yeah. And the music video, the cool comic style video, whose idea was that one?
That was our other guitar player, Brent Rambler. He's a big comic book guy. And he said that the song just kind of gave him those vibes and that sort of imagery when he was listening to the song and, the title Defender almost sounded like a superhero. So we pitched that idea to the fine folks at Fearless Records and got our director, Dan Fusselman, on board. And we're really excited about the video. We actually saw it just a couple days before everyone else saw it. I think we got the final cut like midday on February 4th, and it was released at 10 a.m. on February 6th. So we didn't have a lot of time to sit with it, but we're really excited about it and how it came out. And I think it's a very unique video for August Burns Red. We've never done anything like that before. I'm pretty stoked on it.
Yeah, absolutely love it. How long was the new album in the works for? How long did it take to complete?
Well, the writing was certainly going on for a few years. Generally, when we finish a record, we'll take, 6 months to a year off from the creative side of things and then start to dig into the next record. And our bass player, Dustin Davidson, and I handled all the music writing on this record. We don't write any lyrics, but we wrote all the music. And he and I worked, 18 months or so, I'd say, on the material off and on for Guardians. And then we spent a little over 2 months recording it over 2 different studio sessions last year. We did a month or so in April and then 5 or 6 weeks in August and September of last year. And then spent so much time mixing, we spent months going back and forth on mixes and masters. But we're done now, and I'm very relieved to have it all finished and have it set up to come out now.
Yeah, it's been a few years since the last full-length album. I'm sure you guys are super excited to have it out into the world.
For sure.
Is there a particular message or kind of theme for Guardians overall?
Like most of our records, there's a lot of different subject matter covered. The majority of the lyrics are written by Brent Rambler, our guitar player, and Matt Greiner, our drummer. But I think like there is a general theme of sort of what the vibe in Defender is of helping each other out, having your friend or your family's back during trying times, having compassion for those who are suffering. There's I think a lot of that kind of stuff going on lyrically with this record.
Yeah. Was there a certain band or artist that particularly influenced this album?
I really can't say there was. for me personally. We've been at it for a long time now, and I think ABR as a band sort of we have our own vibe musically now. So while we certainly pulled from a lot of different influences when we were younger, at this point, I think we've kind of carved out our sound and sort of work within that space, that sonic space. And
yeah, definitely.
And a goal, I guess, for us is to just push ourselves as individual musicians and of course as a band. And the goal for August Burns Red from the beginning and still is today to just write the most badass songs that we can. And once we have enough material to create a whole album, then we release it. So that's sort of what we did with this one as well.
Yeah, I love it. As you said, you guys have been around for so long now. You must all feel like a little family.
We really are. It extends even beyond just the band, because there are a bunch of guys in our crew who have been with us for so long now, for so many years. So when we get on the road, like, you know, we have our families at home, but when we get back on the road, it is like a family reunion again, seeing a bunch of the guys that I don't get to see much when we're off tour. Our tour manager, Josh, has been with us since 2003 when we started. He missed two tours in 2006 when he was finishing college, and hasn't missed anything. He's my best friend and
wow.
One of the most loyal people I've ever met. And then we have the guy who does merch for us. His name's Kip. He has been with us off and on for the first few years, and then he's been with us nonstop since 2009. I won't get into all the guys, but yeah, it is definitely a family out there, and we've gone through a lot together, just the five of us in the band. A couple divorces, couple of us are married with children. We've gone through ups and downs internally with disagreements over creative differences and other silly things that we've all kind of gotten over at this point, and now we're all, I think, even stronger and more bonded because of the sort of trials and tribulations that we endured together.
Yeah, I love that. And also, over the years, racking up a huge fan base, it must feel so good knowing that you've helped so many people through, tough times, you know?
That's, one of those things that people say to you, and, you know, it's kind of hard to wrap my mind around, because we are just normal people playing music and just, like I said before, just trying to write the best music we can. And it's certainly humbling to know that what we've done has been able to help people through hard times or touch them in different ways. So, yeah, it's awesome. And I try not to dwell on that stuff too much, because I just I want to keep doing what we're doing without overthinking stuff. And
definitely.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's definitely cool to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Looking back a little bit on the last year, did you have a favorite moment or moments of 2019?
Yes, I can think of a couple. We did a 10-year anniversary for a record called Constellations last year. And with that, we did a world tour, and we played a very extensive tour across North America. And there were a few shows on that run. I mean, it was an amazing tour for us. It was probably the biggest tour we've ever done. And we did a show in Denver, Colorado, that was leaps and bounds the biggest show we had ever done in Denver, which is one of our favorite cities to play in all the world. We played at a venue called the Fillmore, and that night really was incredible, just based on how many people showed up. And it was one of those shows that made us feel like we had really achieved something. Like we had, I don't know, it felt like we were a real band that night.
Yeah.
You know? And not to say that we haven't felt that way before, but it was weird looking out on a crowd of that size, knowing that everyone was there because of us. And I know lots of bands within our genre, you know, draw astronomically more people than us, and have been feeling that way for years. But ABR has always kind of been, we've been a slow build band, I think, over our career. It's been a slow but steady climb, I guess. And it was cool last year to see years and years of hard work and grinding sort of come to fruition.
Definitely, yeah.
I guess.
So do you have? Yeah. So for this year, do you have anything you want to tick off the bucket list or anything?
Let me think. I mean, our whole year is already planned. So I'm trying to think if we're doing anything bucket listy.
bucket listy.
Yeah. Do you guys say that in Australia?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, right on. I don't know. The year's laid out very much like a typical album cycle. We're gonna tour a bunch and support a record. I don't think we're going anywhere terribly exotic or off the beaten path from places we've been in the past. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, I don't think there's any Australia touring planned for 2020. But we'll certainly come back. We'll come back sooner than last time.
We'll
we stayed away way too long. Thank you. we want to come back for sure.
Awesome. Well, before we wrap up, do you have a message for your Australian fans?
Sure. I want to apologize first and foremost. We haven't come to Australia as much as we would have liked to. There's been many attempts by us to come as a band, followed by apprehension from booking agents and promoters and stuff of that nature. So last year we finally got to come back and play, and it was a blast. And we all said, yes, we cannot stay away from Australia this long in the future, regardless of what the people who are kind of guiding our careers or booking us have to say about it. So we promised to come back sooner. I apologize it took us so long to return. I think it was 2015 was the last time we had been there before we came back last year, which is too long.
Awesome. Well, we'll hold you to that now on record.
Yes. You're more than welcome to. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks so much for talking to us for the Faction Live.
Of course. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.